Welcome back, and joining me for a closer look of the day's trading session is Cremen from Adviceworx. Caroline, thanks so much for your time this evening. Let's start off with your general assessment of markets action. Over in the US, we're seeing a bit of a pullback from those record highs, and that rally, of course, was fueled by optimism around AI as well as those rate cut bets.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, it's kind of normal when you hit a high, you do have a bit of a pullback. People kind of look around and see, well, it's everything as rosy as it is. And there's a couple of issues globally, and not only in the US, that probably give people pause for thought. But I don't think we're in a greed rally at this point. I don't think it's enough to derail it permanently, however.
So nothing to worry about just yet. What we're also seeing pulling back is the yellow metal gold, but it's still at that $4,000 per ounce level. However, the breather filtering through two local markets with our gold counters really being beaten this evening. Is this a door of opportunity to maybe dip your fingers into some of those gold counters? Or are you looking at perhaps some of the other cheaper precious metal miners, particularly the PGM players?
And the PGM has been a bit strange this year. I'm not sure that there was a real, a rally backed by kind of real fundamentals. I stand to be corrected about that. I don't think, that market is that strong. But definitely on the gold side, once it hit that 4,000 psychological barrier, it's now where does it go from here? And I think it might have been Goldman Sachs, I stand to be corrected. One of the international banks yesterday said it's $4,900 is the next target. And certainly all the uncertainty around the shutdown and the fact that this might not be a quick shutdown, but actually be quite a prolonged shutdown, is certainly driving that type of anxiety.
I mean, what day are we on? We're on day 9, and there still doesn't seem to be, any sign of that government shutdown ending anytime soon. And with that playing out, of course, we probably will see a stronger gold price moving forward. I mean, you talk about $4,900. I think I read yesterday some international banks pricing in a $5,000 per ounce mark. So yeah, there's still a lot of room to run for the yellow metal. We've also been seeing a rotation into emerging markets, Caroline, besides the commodities rally and a softer dollar. Is that what behind, I guess, the optimism in the JSE as well as what we're seeing in the rand?
Definitely you think, investors try to move away from places which they think are maybe vulnerable and fully valued. And if you look at the US market, it certainly looks a little bit published. I don't particularly think it is. You look at Europe, and then there's economic issues in France. I think they're on about their third prime minister. There's economic issues in the UK. So you've got to look at other places, and China still looks a bit wobbly. So to look at emerging markets probably looks like a better bet at this point, and it probably is. But I think people just need to be very wary that type of trade in the past, as soon as you have a risk-off kind of mood globally, is something that can unravel very fast. And if you look at what is happening in the US, where there's, I think you saw Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan actually talk about a market correction yesterday. When you see those types of things happen, those emerging market trades can unravel on the other way very, very fast.
Let's move over to some company news. TSMC out with an update today, and they're expecting a rise in revenue, double digit, of course. I think they're pegging in a 30% rise in their top line. How are you playing, I guess, the AI scene, right? We have the manufacturers like your TSMC, then you have the GPU guys like an NVIDIA or an AMD. Then most recently, we've seen the memory chip players making a move with the likes of SK Hynix also signing deals with OpenAI.
And you've seen the ASML, the machine manufacturers run ahead of their results, which come out next week as well. So right now, it appears as if it's like a win for everybody. It doesn't matter which part of the ecosystem you're actually working in. I think what will transpire in the next few months as to who the real winners are. And I think just for investors, it's probably just stay the quality, stay the names. You know, TSMC has got the actual revenue behind it. I mean, it's up 31% year on year. I mean, it's got an eye-popping of 32 billion quarterly revenue. I mean, that's absolutely eye-popping. But it's not evenly distributed, because if you look at, I think it was the semiconductor industry body actually came out today also, and they said that your global semi sales were up 21% in August. But that was really from America, and it was some of the Far East nations, not necessarily China or Europe. So I mean, just stick with the big guys. You know, they're supplying around the world, and they've got the balance sheets, they've got the revenues, they've got the contracts, they've got the interconnected contracts now to keep on running. And I think people also just say, is this a bubble? It may very well be, but it's not a bubble like others, you know, because you're seeing definite earnings there, you're seeing definite revenue, and you're seeing absolute applications going into business.
And that was going to be my next question. If what we're seeing right now is a bubble in that industry, but you've, you know, taken the words out of my mouth. All right, before I let you go, Caroline, where are you seeing opportunity at the moment? What's your stock pick?
Well, ironically, it's emerging markets. So the company's name is Mercado Libre, and the share code is MELI. I kind of refer to it as the Amazon of Latin America, but it's a little bit more than Amazon there, because it's not only an e-commerce player, it also does. So it's not only e-commerce; it also does finance, payments, credit. It's been the darling of the market this year. I think it's up about 25% until this last week, when somebody downgraded, and the reason they downgraded it was because of competitive entrants and a couple of other things, you know, your Sheins and your Temus and Amazons. I think this company is strong enough. It's got a logistics business in place. It's got, like I said, that e-finance arm. It's still not cheap, but you very rarely get an extremely cheap level. So when you do see it drop a little bit, as it has, pick up some for your bottom drawer.
So some opportunity there in emerging markets. Caroline, thanks so much for your time and taking us through trade this evening. That was Caroline Cremen from Adviceworx.